3 more weeks of lockdown at least, my friends. That's 3 more weeks of Joe Wicks workouts in my lounge. Not me. I'm not doing it. But all the others are. Stood there, making the house vibrate, watching some bloke in Lycra with an injury. Have you noticed? 3 more weeks at least of every time I walk the dogs, whoever's on the same side of the pavement as me walking towards me, legs it to the other side of the road like I've either got a bad smell. They're probably worried about the plague. Maybe the dog's got the plague. I don't know. So at least 3 more weeks of my kids watching this film on loop about a goblin geezer that lives in the sand and grants wishes. There are other films available. I've checked. But I just keep watching the same one over and over and over. Even I'm starting to learn the words. What have I been doing? I've been out in the garden, practicing my formidable sporting skills by curling shots into the top corner, by recreating some of the finest golfing shots from Augusta, but mostly sort of just searching for something to eat in the fridge really, and wondering whether I should go to the shop or not and catch the bubonic plague just to get a loaf of bread. So anyway, enough of that. Today's video is all about transfermarket.com. Transfermarket.com tell you the value of each and every player, their current market value, and guess what? No surprise, they've gone down. Right down. So, what we'll do is we'll take a little look at the West Ham squad, and we'll have a look, and we'll see. Let's have a see whether we do it or not, shall we? Whether that represents value to us. I'll try and stay over this side of the screen so I can keep the... there you go. That's a bit better. I'll keep the stuff over there. It's a quick swig of tea. Let's go for it. Nice polished video, this one, as you can see. Okay. Declan Rice, 44.55 million. Are we taking that? Are we taking that? I don't think so. Declan Rice is our best player. You may have another one, but let's be fair. Every time myself and Gio do the player ratings, do a review or anything like that, more or less, Declan Rice, since he got into the first team, since he mainstay in the first team, probably got more man of the matches than anybody else. Maybe him, or funny enough, or Bonner. Got a lot of man of the matches, Declan Rice. So, 44, no, not really. I don't think so. The next one down is Felipe Anderson at 28.8 million. I think you'd have to take him. I really do. I reckon if we got offered 28.8 million for Felipe Anderson, I reckon a board would rip the arm off the club that was offering that sort of money. Sebastien Haller, 32.5. I just feel, I mean, that's a lot of money. I just feel the trouble is with this deal is we have to pay the 44 million for him over 18 months. That really is a loss of money. I don't even think it's incentivised like if we get a certain place in the league. Felipe Anderson's deal is ratcheted. Finishing the top 10. We pay his previous club a little bit more, so on and so forth. I don't think that's the case with Haller. I think it's a whopping. I think that's a £12 million loss straight away. I'm not sure that one would get done. I just think I think the loss is a little bit too rich for David Sullivan, who signed the cheque there on that one. It's a deal. We've discussed him a little bit recently, haven't we? 25 million. See, unlike Sebastien Haller, that is that's a loss. Sorry, that's a gain. He was 23 million. That's 2 million more. That's not 12 million less like Sebastien Haller. Do I think they would do it? No. Would I take it? No. But as I say, it does really depend on whoever Moyes sees as his replacement. How much is he going to be? I don't think I'd take 25, but I think 30 might prove to be tempting, bearing in mind we're skint. Everyone's skint, right? Well, apart from Manchester United, evidently. Oh, of course, and Newcastle. Biggest club, richest club in the world. Manuel Lanzini. 14 million. That's a tempting one, isn't it? Oh, I love Lanzini. I hope he comes back to be the player he used to be. Up until the point where he got his injury, I thought Lanzini was our best player. 14 million though, and it gets someone that's on 100 grand off the wage bill. I think we go for that. I really do. Paolo the Fornicator Fornals. 14 million, no. No, it's just no. Do I have to explain it more? I think we all agree. That is just a no, isn't it, really? It's not happening. Mainstay as a team, somebody to build the club around. And that is a loss. That's almost 10 million loss. No way. Jared Bowen. This one is interesting. Because Jared was 20 million. Now, whether that was 20 million, again, ratcheted on a deal whereby whatever, I don't know. I don't know what the deal was with Hull. But that's an instant 6 million loss. It just ain't worth it. This guy looks like he's going to score goals for West Ham. Looks like he's going to play really well for West Ham. Somebody to build the team around as well. I would put him in the same bracket as Fornals. That is just no way. This one's interesting. Thomas Souček. 10.8 million. Well, if he's worth 10.8, why are we about to pay 16? If we remain in the Premier League, be by hook or by crook, either because they play out the rest of the season or because the season is null and void and we just by default stay in the Premier League. If we stay in the Premier League, the deal goes through. And I think it goes through at 16 million. And I'm not sure whether the loan fee is taken off that 16 million. I guess it is. The loan fee was something like 3 million, so maybe we pay 13 million. But he's worth less anyway. Having said that, his value to West Ham is greater than that in the long run because he looks to be a really good player. Fabian Balbuena, 8.55 million. I think they take it. Why? Because I'm looking at a lot of this financially. Some I'm not. Some I'm not looking at financially. Some people like Bowen, some like Fornals. I just think it's worth building the team around. Balbuena's a very good centre half. No doubt about that at all. However, I think he costs 4 million. I think if they could make a 5 million profit on him, get another centre back in, I think they'd probably do it. The question is, are you going to get another centre back for 9 million? You might. If Moyes wants to look at the Championship, I'm sure there will be someone down. Not the best ones, but I'm sure there'll be somebody down there. Yarmolenko, 8.5 million. I'd say they'd take that, wouldn't they? Get him off the wage bill. He's got one more year, maybe something like that. I mean, they would just take it. There's no doubt about it. He's not been fit since he signed for West Ham. He wasn't fit for the season before he signed for West Ham. And as far as I know, he has a poor fitness record at Dynamo Kiev as well. We take that money, don't we? Mikel Antonio, 8.55 million. Forget it. Forget it. His worth to us as a match winner is far greater than that. We're getting to the silly ones now, by the way. Angelo Ogbonna, 5.85 million. Forget it. Forget it. He's not getting replaced. I think Ogbonna at his best, and sometimes he's at his best for quite long periods of time. If it's only when he's been out of the team and he comes back in, he's a bit flaky, a little bit shaky for a little while. I could see Ogbonna playing in a top 4 team. I don't want him to, and I think it's too late in his career for him to do that. But he played for Juventus, he played for Italy. He don't look out of place. I mean, nearly 6 million, just ain't getting him. Aaron Cresswell, 5.85 million. I think they'd probably do it. Certainly because Masuaku is just under Aaron Cresswell and he's on the same money. And I think, bearing in mind they're both either on 4 or 5 year contracts, that is a lot of commitment, a lot of financial commitment from the club. I think if they get rid of one of those and get one of those wage bills off, get £5-6 million in, and then go and... Well, don't have to. They could just keep that money. They can pay Ben Johnson then. Who may well take the place anyway. I think it was... I almost understand their thinking of doing that. We tie up both left backs. It's a position we don't have to worry about for a while. But I don't think it's quite worked out like that. I think it is a position that needs addressing and needs working on. So I think something gives there. Mark Noble, 4.3 million. No. That means let's not be silly. So I don't talk about that. I mean, we all want him to see out his career, go on to the coaching staff. That's what we want to happen. So Mark, Jack Wilshere, 4.3 million. Would you take it, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you just take that? Nobody. I don't know where they get this figure from. There's clearly some computer generating these, because if you look at all those players, Noble, Wilshere, Snodgrass are all 4.32, which is an obscure amount. So it's clearly a computer doing it. No one's actually given it any thought. There's no context applied to this. No one's coming in and giving us 4 million for Jack Wilshere. Not at all. We can't even give him away at the moment to get his last year off the books. So that's ridiculous. Robert Snodgrass. That's an interesting one. Would you take 4.32 million for Robert Snodgrass? He gets lots of assists. And he's got a massive worth to the club. He's from dead ball and wide situations. He is a good assist getter. His worth in terms of the team spirit is vast. Is really good. So I mean, I'll be interested to know what you think about that one. A Jetty, well, look, that's a loss. 4.32 million, that's a loss of 3 million. I think you take it. I think you take the loss. You take the hit on that. It's not like the Sebastien Haller loss where you think you're buying a world-class player and immediately in less than 12 months you're taking a hit of 12 million. That's somebody that was a punt anyway. It ain't really worked out. And we do have people in the academy who, once they've been given at least a 10-game run, if they get into the first team squad, they'll be worth more than that. Anyway, what else we got? Ryan Fredericks, 3.6. I think we'd take it. He's on 50 grand a week. I think we'd take it. We got Ngakia there, who's not on this list, funny enough. So what would Ngakia be worth? Not that I want to sell him. That would be interesting. That's an interesting one, isn't it? So we've got Ngakia and we've got Ben Johnson there. Ryan Fredericks on 50 grand a week. We got him for free. That's £3.6 million profit if somebody bought Ryan Fredericks. Fabianski 2.88. It just ain't worth it. What can you do with 2.8 million in terms of getting a new keeper? And it ain't worth it. It's not like Ryan Fredericks, where you've already got two right backs who are perfectly competent. Our goalkeepers aren't as good as Lucas Fabianski. So what's the point of having 2.8 million? Darren Randolph 2.5. Again, I think you might do that. Possibly, be interesting to see. But as I said before, we got Trott, we got Nang, we got David Martin. It would be very, very interesting to see what we did there, particularly in terms of a second choice goalkeeper. Cardoso, 2 million. Never seen him play. Couldn't tell you. Again, he's a punt. If he's a punt, let's see if we can. Let's see if he turns into a player before we decide what to do with him. Carlos Sanchez, 1 million. Well, let's bear it in mind he can walk away on a free in a couple of months. I think that's absolutely ridiculous. I'm not giving that any thought at all. Of course we'd take it. But he's leaving on a free. Pablo Zabaleta, 700,000. It's ridiculous. What a stupid... What? Who's done this? David Martin at 200 grand. There's no point, obviously. Good guy to have around. We like him. A little bit of a cult hero because of the family name and the family connection. But let me just give this a little bit of context. This transfermarket.com. I'm not going to bore you with all the players, but if I just tell you now, I was meant to pull it up. I can't find it, but I'll tell you because I did look at it beforehand. A Virgil van Dijk is now worth less than the Liverpool paid Southampton for him, apparently. Now I don't know because we don't know. I heard two things the other day. Conflicting stories. One was that Real Madrid couldn't afford to renew Sergio Ramos's contract because they were so skint. The very next story was that Real Madrid are going to buy Sadio Mane for £150 million. They can't both be true, obviously. But I think the truth is somewhere in between. So, do I think they're so skint that they can't give Ramos a new contract? No. Do I think they can buy £150 million players? No. The truth is going to be somewhere there. So, the old Galactico, the old thing. Can they go and buy Sadio Mane from Liverpool? They probably can't afford him. Is the simple answer. So, with that in mind, everyone's value drops. Now, I'm not saying they can buy Virgil van Dijk. But if he was available, you may well find that 72 million, which I think what he was valued here, 72 million, something like that, would probably be as high as the market would go at the moment. We don't know. We don't know about other people coming in and distorting the market. We just don't know about that yet. And when I say things like oil money and stuff like that, and PSG and Qatar, I'm not sure they're going to be spending like they were. But anyway, look, that's another video. Anyway, let me know what you think about these valuations on the West Ham players. Be interested to know what you think Ngakia's worth as well. And yeah, thank you for joining me. I will catch up with you again tomorrow.